Well, thank you so much for being with us today on this momentous occasion. I'm Jason Perry. I'm the Vice President for Government Relations at the University of Utah and the Director of the Hinckley Institute of Politics. And we're so glad to have you with us for this important announcement today. The program will go as follows. We will first hear from University of Utah President Taylor Randall. Then we will hear from Utah Governor Spencer Cox. Then Senate President Stuart Adams. Then House Majority Leader Jefferson Moss. And then Salt Lake City Mayor Erin Mendenhall. After our speakers, we'll have a moment for a brief question and answer session. President.
Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I first want to recognize and thank a number of our distinguished guests for being here to share some news. Utah Governor Spencer Cox, Senate President Stuart Adams, House Majority Leader Jefferson Moss, Salt Lake City Mayor Erin Mendenhall, Jeff Landward, the Interim Commissioner of Higher Education, trustees of the University of Utah, and our student body president, Jack O'Leary. Thank you all for being here. Jason Perry, the U's VP of Government Affairs and the Director of the Hinckley Institute of Politics, and his team have really been instrumental in making today's announcement happen. On to the news. Today I'm delighted to announce that the Commission on Presidential Debates has selected the University of Utah as host of the third and final presidential debate of the 2024 campaign season. That debate will be held on October 9th, 2024. Will be held here in the Nancy Peary Marriott Auditorium at Kingsbury Hall and broadcast to literally hundreds of millions around the world. This is the second time that the Commission of Presidential Debates has chosen the University of Utah, the first being the 2020 vice presidential debate between Kamala Harris and Mike Pence. We're looking forward this time to hosting the main card without a pandemic and perhaps with fly abatement. Utah, again, is the only Western state selected to host one of the debates leading up to next year's presidential election. Hosting a debate is a great responsibility, and we are up to the task and thrilled to once again show off the great state of Utah and our great university. I'm especially excited for the students that will be able to participate. Having them participate is an essential part of their education, understanding the civic process, part of our politics. It will be a remarkable experience for them. As you know, civic engagement is a core value of our democracy, and making sure that our next generation of leaders participates in that process was very important in the university as we pursued this debate. It's now my pleasure to welcome the Governor of the state of Utah, Spencer Cox.
Thank you, President Randall, to you and your entire team. I think we probably do need to give a round of applause to Jason Perry and his team for their great work. Thanks, Jason. You know, I was a political science student at another university in this state, Utah State University, and loved presidential politics, loved studying politics, watched every debate from the time I was a little kid. I was one of those guys, but never imagined that we would get an opportunity to host a presidential debate right here in our state. This is a huge deal and a huge honor to our state, to our capital city. Mayor, thank you for your incredible support, and of course to the University of Utah for their incredible leadership in making this happen. We have proven as a state that we are a place not just where debates can be held, but where all kinds of major events can be held, done the right way. We have the right people, the right volunteers. We're very professional in the way we do things. I'm especially excited for the last part that President Randall mentioned, the idea that our students will get an opportunity to have a civics lesson up close and personal. We certainly need more of that in our country, an understanding of who we are and why we are, the things that make our country great, the things that make our country not so great some days. And we tend to get a view of both of those when it comes to presidential politics and specifically to debates. I have the opportunity this year to serve as the chair of the National Governors Association and to work with my fellow governors on civic education, trying to make our society less polarized. I suspect that that the debates and this next election will be very polarizing, as the last ones have been. I'm hopeful that Utah will get an opportunity to showcase our ability to do things a little differently. I was thinking back to the 2020 debates. We did have a gubernatorial debate the night of the first presidential debate, televised live right before as the lead-in. I didn't get a chance to watch that debate because we were just finishing up and then immediately cut to the presidential debate. But I can tell you, as both my opponent, Chris Peterson, and I were walking off the stage and talking to each other afterwards, we spent several minutes. Both of our phones started to buzz with texts that we were getting from people. Again, the presidential debate was happening in the background while we were chatting. He said, look what I just received, and I showed him some of what I had received. And they were texts from people that we knew, different people, his friends, my friends, saying, I can't believe what I'm watching right now, but I so appreciate the way you both debated each other without tearing each other apart and trying to make us hate each other more. It stood in I think, strict contrast to what we were seeing, and that certainly inspired people to see that there was a different and a better way to do this. Now, obviously, we don't have any say in how those debates go, but I'm excited that the commission recognize that Utah is a place where we care about our civic responsibility, where we will support, no matter what happens in these debates, we will support our ability to disagree, to have profound disagreement is really important, and to do it in the right way. And I suspect that in the lead up to this debate that's going to happen here, that there will be a lot of attention focused on Utah. And we have an opportunity to show the very best of Utah, our ability to work together to solve problems, our ability to work together to educate our kids, our people, our students, and our ability to disagree better, to disagree in the right way without tearing each other apart. So I'm so grateful to everyone that has worked so hard to bring this together, to show our young people the opportunities that are out there, to educate the future leaders of our country. I suspect that there's a real possibility that we'll have someone sitting in this audience from the state of Utah who may someday want to run for president. Young people who can see that there is a bright future ahead for our country and can make this country a better place. And I certainly hope that that's the case, because the future leaders are right here on this campus, and we're really proud of what's happening. So congratulations to Utah, congratulations to Salt Lake City, and a big congratulations to the University of Utah for pulling this off. Well done.
Well, I'm really excited to join the governor and the other legislators and the President Randall here for this announcement. I will say, Governor, that I took my political science classes and my other classes here at the U, and it was I think it's a great day for Utah, and hopefully a great day for the University of Utah. Go Utes! I think about Utah, and I think about why Utah. We're the only state in the West that has given this honor. We are the crossroads of the West. We've actually done some really good jobs in hosting events. Seems like just yesterday, when the vice presidential debate was here, and nobody did it better. Utah volunteers, the students, the participation, the questions. It was a fun event, lots of people coming to Utah, but it was really a showcase for what we are, and we do things well. Whether it's the Olympics or the All-Star Games or the Golden Spike Monument, people come to Utah because of who we are and what we are. We have the best economy. We have the best quality of life. We're the most volunteering. It's a great thing to be in Utah and be part of this. I'm looking forward. I think as I think of having the presidential debate here, this is a real pivotal time for our nation. Some issues that we're dealing with. We know there's high gas prices. We know there's inflation. We know that there's high interest rates. We're struggling looking at an economy that we wonder about. We look internationally. You can't think of, and we've all and experienced and witnessed what's gone on in Israel. And we see what's happening in Ukraine, around the world. We're so blessed to be in this great country. America is the hope for the future. They look to us for not only military support, but other support. We are the future. We are the hope of the future. This debate will be a great thing for Utah to showcase, and I think we can lead as Utah, and we can help not only be America be the hope of the future, but Utah's will be the hope of the future generations. So again, exciting to be here, exciting day. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. Also, I'll add to that. Thank you for being here, for joining us in this historic occasion. This is a big deal for the state of Utah and a big deal for the University of Utah. President Randall, I know that as our flagship university, I think they'll do a fantastic job of representing our ideals and our standards and things that we care about here in the state of Utah. And I do love that it's being held on a higher education campus. Higher education plays such a critical role in our state, both as an economic driver, of course, but also in helping these students to figure out their own political identities, to understand the differences between different approaches. And I really see this as a cool opportunity for these students, not just here at the state, here at the University of Utah, but across the state, to be able to participate in this and to learn and to gain that really excitement about their civic engagement, to want to be part of that. And I really do think this will be something they'll probably remember for many years as they go down the road. Just as the majority leader of the House, I've seen the state of Utah play kind of an outsized role in terms of how we approach policy, and the governor mentioned that. I think this is a great opportunity for us with our community to be able to engage further and for them to understand how important the things that these candidates are going to bring in terms of what they plan to do matters to each of us. And I think this will be great for them to be able to hear that firsthand. And again, I just thank you all for being here, and super excited to see Utah lead the nation on in this great event. Thank you.
What a great day. As President just said, this isn't just the crossroads of the West anymore. With all of the announcements happening tomorrow morning, Governor and I will join the bid committee in our final presentation before the International Olympic Committee in hopes of securing a future Winter Games. It really feels like Salt Lake City and the state of Utah are the crossroads of the world. So much going on, so many big things happening here. And as this blue dot in a very red state, to stand here with my friends, even though we disagree on a great many things, we get along and we work hard. And I can imagine, Governor, disagree better t-shirts in the crowd here on the night of that debate, because I think the theme that you're leading governors across the nation with is permeating here locally. And it's something that I'm very proud of, and I'm proud of the way that you lead this state and that you cultivate this culture with your colleagues and with other leaders in the state like President Randall, that we always show up and we keep the conversation going. So we will welcome a rigorous debate here, flies or no flies, and that Utahns will show who we are and what we're good at, which is welcoming the world. And our Salt Lake City Police Department is ready and willing and able. We'll collaborate with the university's police to make sure that this is a very safe event for all of the visitors and residents who get to come. It just feels so good to have yet another thing for us to celebrate and show who we are to the world, and that we are ready. We're ready right now. So thank you for all of your partnership. Excellent work. Go Utes.
Thank you to all of our speakers. We'll now have an opportunity to take just a couple of questions. If you'll please give your question and who you'd like to direct it to. Ben?
Ultimately, none of us on the stage have that kind of authority or ability to speak on behalf of those organizations. But the commission will be in negotiations, I'm sure, with both parties, and possibly there's a real possibility there would be more than 2 candidates on the stage that night, the way things are shaping up and the way the polling looks right now. And so I anticipate that there will be a vigorous discussion about that, about who's going to come and what that's going to look like. But we're certainly hopeful hopeful that that all the candidates would show up. As President Adams said when we were having this conversation, who doesn't love Utah? Who wouldn't want an opportunity to come to Utah in October?
Maybe I should add to it. We did a great job with the vice presidential debate here. It was fair. I think people enjoyed it, and also I think it showed what Utah could do with the questions and how people were treated. I think when they see that, again, who can turn down Utah? We did a great job in the past. We'll do a good job this time, and I think we'll wait to see what they decide.
So we don't have the answer to what that is, except our friends are here and we will ask. The cost for the vice presidential debate was around $6.5 million total to pull that event off.
Is that estimated to be roughly similar this time, or do you have an estimate?
Yes, we would estimate it to be around that cost again.
Who would I like to see on the stage next year? Anybody other than the two front runners right now. That's who I would like to see on the stage next year. In fact, I made the joke that maybe we'd do $10 million if they bring two new candidates. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I would love to see some new choices. And by the way, I'm not alone. Every poll that's been done over the past year has shown that Americans of both parties want to see two new candidates as well. And I certainly hope we get that opportunity. But again, we haven't even started that process. I have lots to say about how messed up that process is. I don't know why Iowa and New Hampshire get to decide for the rest of us. I think that's a terrible way to choose a presidential candidate, but nonetheless, that is the process in place, and so we'll work within that process and hope that by the time we get to October that we have some good choices for Americans.
Any other questions?
How long was the application process from when you submitted to
It was about 6 months.
Any idea how many others were part of that?
That's not information they give to us. They don't like us to know everyone who is asking to host a debate, but I'll tell you, many want this honor. Many. All right. Okay, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for our distinguished guests.